Alright, guys, this is a good one, and let's talk about gold. Let's talk about gold. And something big is about to happen. And if you're a gold investor or you're just worried about the state of the US, it's time to brace for impact. Everything is about to change. The US government is finally about to throw open the vaults, and Trump's going in for an inspection.
I'm actually going on this one. You know, all my life I've heard about Fort Knox. That's where the gold is kept, right? I heard Fort Knox, oh. But you know, we're getting a little bit shaky. We're getting the yips on this stuff. Like, I want to find out. So we're going to open up the doors. I'm going to see if we have gold there. We want to find out. Did anybody steal the gold in Fort Knox? It's a pretty amazing place, but I'm going to actually go. We're going to open the doors. We're going to inspect Fort Knox. We want to make sure that we actually have 400 tons of gold or whatever the hell it is. It's a lot of gold. I don't want to open it and the cupboards are bare. Could happen.
Now, this season of The Apprentice is getting very exciting. We have all heard the rumors, the theories, and the speculation. The US gold reserves are gone. Either the government has sold it or someone has stolen the gold. Now, if you ask Scott Bessent, who is the Treasury Secretary, he believes all the gold bullion is there and there's nothing to worry about. But I kind of wonder, I really wonder.
Elon Musk, who's leading Doge, was talking about maybe going to Fort Knox to make sure those gold reserves are there. That comes under your purview. Do you have any plans to visit Kentucky?
I don't have any plans. I can tell you that we do an audit every year. I can tell the American people on camera right now that there was a report September 30th, 2024. All the gold is there. Any U.S. senator who wants to come and visit it can arrange a visit through our office.
Now, I don't know about you, but I won't believe it until I see it. He's smiling because either the gold is really there or it's all gone with the wind. And make no mistake, the US owns a lot of gold. A ton of it was accumulated during the World War II period, and up until 1971, the US dollar was linked to gold. Gold was set at $35 an ounce before the Bretton Woods system broke. At nearly $3,000 an ounce today, it really tells you how much the dollar has collapsed. Our purchasing power is as good as toilet paper, and it's not going to stop. Inflation will only get worse. And that's why the audit is just so important. Remember that the US is the custodian of global reserves, not just private money flowing in, but assets from central banks all across the world. So imagine what if Fort Knox turns out to be empty. That would be the biggest financial scandal on planet Earth. It would be bigger than Enron and would instantly destroy the credibility of the US and the dollar. Both will go down at the same time. Now, how much gold does the US have? If it's all there, there should be 8,133 tons of gold. Over half are sitting at Fort Knox. The rest are in Denver and West Point. So you'll need to audit those vaults as well. The US has as much gold as Germany, Italy, and France combined, more than 3 times that of China or Russia. But we kinda know China is understating their reserves. Understand the importance of gold in today's economy. It's a symbol of trust and zero counterparty risk. If you hold it, you own it. And there's a reason why China, Russia, and global central banks all over the world buy gold. Because the world is afraid of US sanctions plus the endless money printing from Washington. And if the vaults turns out to be empty, it's game over for the USD system. All that's left is a money printing machine. Now, it's not a surprise that major banks, they're bullish. Goldman is predicting gold prices to hit $3,100 by the end of the year. Central bank demand is going to drive prices higher and higher. So why is there a talk about a gold audit today? It's because Scott Bessent basically told the world he wants to monetize US assets. And America has a lot of gold that is underpriced, which means the US government can unlock a lot of value from their gold reserves. Now, US gold today is priced at only $42 an ounce. That's worth around $11 billion to the US Treasury. But if the gold was repriced to the market rate of $3,000 an ounce, this will create an enormous windfall for government spending. It will unlock $750 billion for the Treasury. That's $250 billion more than Trump can use to subsidize the US economy. His trade war is going to cost a lot of money, and he wants to cut down the US deficit as well. So every single dollar will help, and revaluing gold is the quickest win Bessent can provide Trump's administration. Remember, when asked about visiting Fort Knox, Besson said he's not going. All the gold is apparently there. And when asked about the gold revaluation, he said this.
When you were a hedge fund manager before you divested to become the Treasury Secretary. So you know the value of where gold is right now versus where it's marked on its balance sheet, just north of $40 an ounce. It's close to $3,000. Is it under consideration for this administration to revalue gold?
I think that somehow when we were talking about the sovereign wealth fund and I said monetize the balance sheet, I can promise you that's not what I had in mind.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe him. Sooner or later, the US will be pushed into a corner where monetizing the gold is necessary. A revaluation will come. But let's talk about the audit, because what gets reviewed there could break the entire USD system. It could collapse the idea of the US being the world's banker. Central banks and foreign governments all over the world store their gold in the New York Federal Reserve. Imagine the shock if Fort Knox is empty or if even an ounce is missing. It calls into question the entire premise of the US storing your gold reserves. Even if we assume you will never get sanctioned, is the gold still physically there? And that's why this audit is just so important. Why do governments and people like you and me buy gold? And why do I even have physical gold? It's because this is true wealth. It can't be printed into oblivion. What have we seen in 2008 and 2020? The US government printing money to solve their economic crisis, and that devalued the value of dollars for everyone. This is the purchasing power of the US dollar over time. In 1913, a single dollar would buy you 30 chocolate bars. You can't even get half a bar today. The US dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power and is dropping every single day. In 2020 alone, the US money supply grew by nearly $4 trillion, and that's 20% of all dollars ever created printed in a single year. The only financial instrument of value left is the gold in Fort Knox. It's one of the few real assets that lends confidence to the US economy. So if the gold goes missing, even if it's just a single ounce, it will unlock a flurry of central bank audits. And a big shout out to our sponsor today, Indigo Precious Metals. When it comes to buying gold and silver, I trust Indigo Precious Metals in Singapore. They have made investing in precious metals safe, fast, easy, and simple for both small and large scale buying. I've been stacking gold for over a decade now, and I've learned two things when buying. You want to buy authentic gold bullion, and you want to buy it at the lowest premium possible to stretch your dollars even further. And I'm glad to say I found both of this at Indigo Precious Metals. Indigo Precious Metals is a leading retailer in Singapore. They specialize in physical gold, silver, and platinum. They are my one-stop shop when it comes to buying bullion. Their prices are sharp, and they have the best brands on sale, and I can test the gold on the spot. So if you're looking to make your first gold purchase, Indigo Precious Metals is the best place to start. Whether it's 1 ounce or 1 kilo, this is the reputable dealer you are looking for. So take action today. Click on the link below and enjoy a discount on your first purchase with the code SEANFOO. Start your gold stacking journey today. Gold is financial power, and if the US sold off their gold, it means another country has bought it, right? And who might that be? Now, we know China has been aggressively accumulating gold no matter what the market price is. Since the start of 2023, China has been buying gold almost every single month. They added over 400 tons of gold. In fact, almost 7% of their total foreign exchange is gold bullion. Maybe some of the gold could have originated from the United States. Now, we have no idea. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but is it really? 8,000 tons is a lot of gold to account for, especially if it goes missing. However, during the audit, the US government better not find any additional gold, because that could unlock another scandal that will be even worse. Now just imagine the United States of America is actually stockpiling gold as a strategic asset. It will send the ultimate confusion of a message. They will be undermining the strength of the dollar itself. Remember, gold is priced in dollars, so to buy gold, the US is actually selling off their own currency to accumulate the physical metal. This will spark a global rush for gold because even the issuer of the reserve currency is buying gold. The US federal debt today stands at 98% of GDP, and that's on par with the entire economic output of the US economy. But this amount is going to rise higher and higher. It will be nearly 120% of GDP by 2035, and that's on the current trajectory, and that's assuming the world still wants to buy US debt. Now, what if the world finds out the US has been secretly buying gold? Do you think they still want to hold US paper currency anymore? Will there still be demand for US debt? I think not. Countries around the world, they'll start dumping dollars for hard assets. And if the dollars comes flooding back to the US, local inflation will soar. At the same time, bond yields could shoot up all the way to the roof and trigger an economic crash. Foreign governments today hold over $9 trillion of US treasuries, and that's around 45% of all outstanding debt. The rest will be domestic holders like banks, pension funds, and individual investors. Foreign governments would dump all their dollars in a hurry if trust in the system collapses. Then the burden will be thrown to domestic holders who will be left with devalued paper currency. Now, what might be the trigger event, you ask? The US government buying gold is definitely enough to make that happen. It would be signaling the unthinkable. So, the consequences of the Fort Knox audit are extremely severe. The US is caught in a position where they can't sell any gold or buy any additional bullion as well. The Federal Reserve tells us why, and it's very important we understand this. The US mines a lot of gold, but we are not the biggest producer. This part is key. The bigger suppliers of gold would have more control over our monetary policy. If the US buys gold, it would be recognizing gold as money. And who does that help? It helps Russia, it helps China. Almost instantly, the US will make China the new center of financial power. We'll see more capital flows flood into China simply because they have all the gold now. And that's the dilemma Trump has. Now, I want to see a gold audit as well. I want to see if the vaults are filled with bullion or if the cupboards are really empty. Now, I don't know about you, but I still don't trust Scott Bessent 100%.
Question that everybody wants to know from the Treasury Department. Is there actually still gold in Fort Knox?
We do an audit every year. So the audit that ended the year September 30th, 2024, all the gold is present and accounted for.
Okay. Because this is something that people are apparently very concerned about. Elon Musk has been promising to verify that the gold is still there.
And I would invite any of the senators, especially your home state senator Ron Johnson, who I'm a big fan of, that any senator, they call the Treasury, we're happy to arrange a visit, they can do an inspection.
I need to be there in the flesh and touch the gold and do a full essay before I believe the gold is there. Now, I hope Trump live stream it to the world and there are independent assessors there. It sounds funny and bizarre, but it actually isn't. Ensuring the US gold reserves are intact is very important. It's all about financial trust. But as we said, if the vaults are empty, or if the US is caught actually stockpiling gold, this would collapse the entire USD system. But let me know what you think. Is the gold still there? Or are the vaults in Fort Knox empty without a single ounce of gold? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe as we navigate through these crazy times.